So, Mrs. Hen's big surprise. This is the book. Mrs. Hen's big surprise. Let's turn this TV off. It says, Mrs. Hen lived in a pretty house in the middle of a meadow. She was sad, though, because she didn't have a baby chick to love. Aww, she's so sad. One day, when Mrs. Hen was gardening, she tripped over a big rock. "What is this ugly rock doing in my vegetables?" she cried. She took a closer look. She's digging in her vegetable garden. Mrs. Hen dug and dug and dug and dug and dug. The big rock wasn't a rock at all. It was an egg. Mrs. Hen jumped for joy and shouted, "I'm going to have a chick, my very own chick."
It's gonna be a weird chick. It's gonna be a dinosaur. Dinosaur. There's a dinosaur in that egg.
Happily and very carefully, Mrs. Hen wheeled the beautiful egg up the hill, then set the egg down in her living room. And like the good hen that she was, she sat on it.
And there's a nest. And there's a nest.
Oh, wait a minute. She's rolling it up the hill. And then took it inside and sat on it.
There's a nest.
Here we go. Okay, so she sat on that egg and knitted, imagining the wonderful life she was going to have with her little chick.
Aww. Look at her.
Aww.
And they're on the beach.
They are. A few days later, Mrs. Cow came to visit. Mrs. Hen told Mrs. Cow her incredible story. "Soon, I'm going to be the mother of a handsome chick," she said proudly. Mrs. Cow told the whole story to Mrs. Egg. "I think our friend Mrs. Hen has some bizarre ideas," Mrs. Cow confided. "She's sitting very striking egg found in her vegetable garden. She thinks it's going to hatch into a chick."
And it's a dinosaur. Ooh,
Mrs. Pig told Miss Goose, who told Mrs. Sheep, who told Miss Turkey, Mrs. Porcupine. Helen. Gossip.
telling, gossip.
And Mrs. Hen received a lot more letters, but her neighbors made fun of her and whispered that a strange-looking egg was never going to hatch. Oh, she's very sad.
Oh,
Thinking about her.
it's
So mean.
so mean to her.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a monster, you know.
Oh, no. So Miss Hen sat alone with her egg and waited. And waited some more. The season hatched and still the egg did not hatch.
I think there's no hatch. Oh,
She's never gonna hatch.
no. Okay.
Mrs. Hen wanted to help the egg hatch. She wobbled the egg, hustled the egg, but nothing happened. "Are you going to hatch or not?" she cried.
And you put a hatch. I think so. It did things to it. So I don't know.
Sadly, Mrs. Hen decided to roll the egg back down to the garden. But suddenly, the egg away from Mrs. Hen. Faster and faster rolled until it landed with a crack at the bottom of the hill. Oh my goodness.
I think it's gonna run away. See?
Crack, crack! Surprise! 2 big feet emerged from the brook shell, and the egg started to walk and hurried down the hill fast as she could go. Crack! A huge appeared at the top of the egg.
No, that was strange, baby chick. Strange chick.
My beloved chick, cried Miss. You finally come. For sure it was a fun-looking chick. It didn't have feathers or a beak, and it wasn't yellow. Mrs. Hen didn't care. She hugged her chick tight and welcomed him to the world.
Dinosaur. It's a dinosaur.
Neighbors were amazed. It was a happy day for Mrs. Hen. She and her chick began the life Mrs. Hen had always dreamed about.
They can get a break at the crib. He's gonna break up the crib. Yeah.
Aww, they lived happily ever after.
The end. That's the end of the
That was it.